everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're taking a deep dive into video marketing.
Yeah, video marketing.
It's pretty hot right now.
It really is.
But I feel like a lot of people out there, including myself,
Right.
get a little overwhelmed, like excited to try it, but not really sure where to begin.
Yeah, makes sense.
Luckily, there's this great guide we're looking at today called 5 Fundamentals of Video Content Planning.
Yes.
And it's jam-packed with advice.
It really is.
So we're going to go through it and extract some of those golden nuggets
Okay.
to help you guys make some video marketing magic.
Become Olympians.
Yeah, video marketing Olympians. So let's jump right in. One of the things that really struck me reading through this guide is how much emphasis is placed on planning.
Oh, absolutely.
The pre-production stage.
It's funny you should say that because a lot of people think that video success is all about like fancy equipment.
Right.
Or, slick editing.
Yeah.
But the real game changer, it all happens before you even hit record. It's the planning.
So the foundation for a successful video actually lies in that
pre-production,
behind-the-scenes work.
Absolutely.
It's like building a house, right? You don't just start throwing up walls without a solid blueprint.
That's a perfect analogy.
And just like a blueprint guides the construction process, a clear roadmap for your video ensures that everyone's on the same page.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning. And that resources are used efficiently.
And that things don't go off the rails.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of roadmaps, this guide we're looking at jumps right in and it stresses that objectives are everything.
That's right.
But, I'm curious, what happens when you dive into video creation without those clear objectives?
Ah, that's a great question. Well, without well-defined objectives, it's like setting sail without a compass. You might end up somewhere, but it's unlikely to be your desired destination.
Yeah, you're just...
And I've seen this happen.
Yeah.
Like I've seen companies pour tons of resources into video production,
Right.
only to realize later on that their efforts weren't really aligned with their business goals.
So it's like that example in the guide.
You've been at it.
You've been at it. They were driving tons of traffic to their website.
Right.
But
their ebook downloads were flatlining.
Their ebook downloads were flatlining. So their story really highlights
that disconnect.
That disconnect between activity and actual results.
Exactly.
So how do you prevent that? How do you ensure...
That's a good question.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that your video objectives are truly supporting your overall business goals?
Like, where do you even start?
Well, you start with the big picture.
Okay.
What are the top priorities for your business right now? Is it generating leads, increasing brand awareness, driving sales? Once you've identified those overarching goals, then you can determine how video can specifically contribute. Okay,
so in the case of You've Been Adding, their primary business goal was lead generation, right?
Lead generation, yeah.
And they were aiming for, what was it?
A 50% boost in leads?
50% boost in leads within a quarter.
Within a quarter.
Okay.
And their initial videos, they were driving website traffic.
Right.
But it wasn't translating into ebook downloads, which were their primary lead magnets.
So to course correct, they needed to shift their video objective to focus specifically on ebook downloads.
Exactly.
So their video objective became
increasing ebook downloads from first-time website visitors by 50% within a month.
Okay.
And, here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
To make sure they were on track. They also had to select the right key performance indicators.
Oh, the KPIs.
Or KPIs.
Yeah.
To measure progress.
To make sure that they were actually making progress towards that goal.
So You've Been Adding, they already had the tools to track downloads, but they also wanted to measure engagement. And the guide points out that they hadn't initially considered how to track audience retention, which is a key engagement metric.
Yeah, key engagement metric. But you need to have the right tools in place from the start.
Absolutely.
To track those KPIs effectively.
Measurement is key.
Yeah, because it's easy to get caught up in the creative side
for sure.
Of video. But if you can't measure your success, how do you know if it's actually working?
Exactly. It's not just about creating a visually appealing video.
Yeah.
It's about creating a video that drives measurable results for your business.
For your business.
Right.
Okay, I'm convinced. Clear objectives.
Yes.
Measurable KPIs.
Non-negotiable.
Those are non-negotiable.
Right.
But before we move on, any other advice on setting those objectives?
Yeah.
Maybe common mistakes to avoid or...
one common mistake is setting objectives that are too broad or vague.
Okay.
Like, saying, I want my video to go viral.
Right.
That's a wish, not an objective.
It's a wish, not an objective.
So instead, get specific.
Right.
Like, I want to increase brand awareness by 15% among our target demographic within 3 months.
Oh, okay.
That's a measurable objective that you can actually track.
Yeah, you can track.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Another pitfall is neglecting to loop in key stakeholders early on.
Oh, the stakeholders. Can't forget about them.
Right.
Getting their input and approval from the get-go.
Buy-in from the start, not surprise faces.
Yeah.
At the final presentation.
Yeah, surprise faces at the final presentation, no thank you.
Right.
I've definitely learned that the hard way a few
I
times.
think we all have.
All right, so you've got your objectives nailed down.
Okay.
The stakeholders are on board.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to figure out who is actually taking the trip with us.
Okay.
Right. Enter.
Audience insights.
Audience insights, yes.
Yeah. This is where we go beyond basic demographics.
That's right.
And try to understand the why behind our audience's behavior.
I got it. And this why
Yeah.
is where those golden nuggets of insight are hidden.
Oh, okay.
Like with You've Been Had.
Yeah.
They initially assumed
Mm-hmm.
that their audience of brand managers would be drawn to flashy, creative videos.
But they were more interested in
Results.
results, yeah. It wasn't about the creative bells and whistles. It was about seeing how those ebooks would help them hit their own targets.
Exactly. They discovered that their audience was incredibly results-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
They craved practical advice.
Practical advice.
Actionable strategy.
Actionable strategies.
They wanted to know, how can these ebooks help me achieve my why goals?
So instead of showcasing their creative prowess,
Right.
they needed to reposition their entire video strategy to focus on how their ebooks
Delivered those tangible results.
tangible results.
It's a pretty powerful shift.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful shift.
It highlights the importance of going beyond those surface-level assumptions
Right.
about your audience.
Yeah.
Those deeper insights can completely transform your approach.
Completely transform your approach. Okay, I'm starting to see how these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
We've got our objectives, our audience insights, but how do we translate those into a compelling message
Okay.
for our video?
So that's where we move from the who and the why to the what. It's time to craft that all-important core message.
So core message. All right, well, let's dive into that then.
Let's do it. So we're diving into that core message now.
Yeah, that core message.
That one key takeaway we want our viewers to walk away with.
Okay, so how do we ensure that it resonates? How do we make sure that it really has impact?
Well, it's not just about stating facts.
Okay.
It's about connecting with your audience on an emotional level.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So it's more than just information.
Yeah.
It's about evoking a feeling.
It's about evoking a feeling. Think about how you want them to feel, think, and ultimately do.
Feel, think, do.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-step formula.
It is. It is a formula.
For creating a really impactful message.
Absolutely.
Can you break that down a bit further? Like, can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's say your objective is to increase trial signups for your software.
Okay.
And you've uncovered that your target audience values efficiency and time-saving solutions.
Okay, so they want
to get things done.
Get things done quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
So to evoke the right feeling, your video might showcase how frustrated people are with their current processes.
As you're tapping into
that pain point.
that pain point, yeah.
Right. Then you would introduce your software as the solution.
As the think solution.
The think solution. The key to streamlining their workflow.
Okay.
And finally, the DO would be that clear call to action.
Sign up for a free trial today.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not just explaining what your software does. It's showing them
how it can make their lives better.
how it can solve their problems.
And connect with their emotions.
Okay, and this brings us back to our friends at You've Been Ad.
Yeah.
They wanted to increase ebook downloads.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew that their audience was results-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
So how did they craft a core message that would really hit the mark?
Well, they couldn't just say, download our ebooks, they're great.
Right.
They had to tap into those deeper motivations.
What's your motivations, yeah.
So their core message became, you've been in RES. Ads ebooks teach you how to successfully use brand advertising to achieve your marketing objectives.
So it's clear, concise. It directly addresses
the audience's needs.
the audience's need for actionable strategies
Exactly.
to achieve those goals.
And it's not about boasting or hyping up their product. It's about genuinely helping their audience succeed.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
And that's where a technique called message mapping comes in.
Message mapping, yes.
Message mapping, I have to admit, I'm not really familiar with that term.
Sure.
What does that mean?
Imagine your core message as the central hub.
Okay, the central hub.
Right. And then you have supporting points branching out from it.
Okay.
Like spokes on a wheel.
Oh, okay.
So for you've been adding, their supporting points might be things like increase brand awareness, improve brand loyalty, encourage repeat business, and generate new leads.
So each of these points ties back
to that core message.
That core message.
Provides further evidence of how their ebooks can help marketers achieve their goals.
So it's like creating a mini outline for your video to ensure everything stays focused.
Laser focused.
Laser focused on that one core message.
You got it.
So you don't go off on tangents or overwhelm the viewer with too much information.
Message mapping is a powerful tool for ensuring clarity and consistency in your messaging.
Okay, this is all making so much sense. We've got our objectives, audience insights,
core message, and now we even have a way to map it all out. For clarity.
Yes.
But now we've got to move from
the conceptual to the practical.
Yeah. We got to tackle the logistical planning.
That's right, the nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritty. Where do we even begin?
Oh, one of the first decisions you'll need to make is whether you're going to handle video production in-house.
Okay.
Or bring in an external agency.
Oh, that's a big one.
It is a big one.
Because I imagine there are pros and cons.
Pros and cons to both approaches, absolutely.
Both. Yeah. So in-house production can be more cost-effective.
If you have the resources and the expertise.
Yeah. But an agency.
An agency can bring a level of experience, specialized equipment, and creative vision that might be difficult to replicate internally.
So if I'm aiming for a really high-quality, polished video, especially for a campaign with, a significant budget, an agency might be the way to go. Often it is. Especially if you're looking for that extra edge.
Okay.
In terms of creativity and production value. But it's crucial to choose an agency that aligns with your brand and understands your target audience.
That makes sense.
Look for a proven track record, a collaborative approach, and a shared vision for your project.
Okay.
You really want to make sure you're on the same page with them.
Yeah, so assuming we've made that decision, what's the next logistical hurdle we've got to jump over?
Distribution.
Yeah.
Where will this video live?
Oh, distribution.
Yeah.
Okay.
YouTube, your website, social media platforms.
Right, and all those platforms.
Each platform has its own nuances and best practices.
Yeah, they do.
And these distribution decisions can impact the video itself.
Oh, absolutely. Like a video design for Instagram might be much shorter.
Yeah.
More visually driven.
Than
one intended for like a YouTube deep dive.
Exactly. You've been opted to place their videos on their ebook landing pages, as well as repurposing them for blog posts.
Oh, smart.
But they were smart about it.
Okay.
They adapted the videos for each context.
Adapted? What do you mean by adapted?
Well, sometimes that means actually editing the videos themselves.
Okay.
But even subtle tweaks can make a big difference.
Okay.
For example, the call to action.
Oh, the call to action, right.
Might need to be adjusted depending on where the video is being viewed.
Okay.
If someone is watching on a landing page, you might direct them to download the ebook immediately.
Right.
But on a blog post, you might direct them to the landing page itself.
So it's all about creating that seamless
and intuitive experience
for the viewer.
No matter where they encounter the video.
No matter where they encounter it, yeah.
And this is where, considering your budget and timeline, realistically comes into play.
Oh, budget and timeline.
Yeah.
It's easy to...
Swept up in grand ideas.
Swept up, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's crucial to work within your constraints.
It's like that old saying, fast, cheap, good pick two.
Can't always have it all.
Be honest about your resources.
Right.
And prioritize accordingly. A well-executed video that's slightly delayed is better than a rushed video that misses the mark entirely.
Completely. Okay, I'm taking notes. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
A lot of ground.
From choosing a production team to mapping out distribution strategies. But it feels like we're missing a crucial step.
Okay.
All of these decisions, all this planning.
Yeah.
How do we ensure that it's effectively communicated to everyone involved?
That is a fantastic question, and it leads us to the final
and
arguably most important step in the planning process.
Oh. Okay.
It's time to crystallize all of our hard work into a single document.
Okay.
It's time to create the video production brief.
The brief.
The brief.
It sounds like this is where it all comes together.
It does.
But what exactly does it entail?
That's what we're going to dive into next.
Okay, so the video production brief.
The video production brief. This is where it all comes together.
It's the document that holds the entire project together.
Okay, so it's kind of like the conductor's score.
Oh, I like that.
For an orchestra, right.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be playing from the same sheet music.
To create that harmonious symphony.
Exactly. And just like a conductor uses the score to guide the musicians.
The video production brief serves as that guiding document.
Yeah.
For everyone involved.
Okay.
From the creative team to the stakeholders.
So stakeholders.
Everyone's on the same page.
Okay, so it's not just like a random collection of notes and ideas.
No, it's a carefully crafted document.
Right. It outlines all the crucial elements
that we've talked about.
It's like that final quality check.
It is. It's a moment to take a step back and ask those critical questions.
Okay, so are our objectives truly achievable?
Does our core message resonate with the target audience?
Have we considered all the potential roadblocks?
All the roadblocks, exactly.
Yeah, and, you know.
This is where that idea of being ruthless comes in.
Yeah, I remember that word ruthless from the guide.
Yeah, the guide emphasizes the importance of being detailed but concise.
Okay, so ruthless but in a good way.
Ruthless but in a good way.
We're not trying to be mean.
No, we're just trying to be intentional.
Intentional.
We want to cut out all the unnecessary fluff.
Just get right to the point.
Every word in the brief should serve a purpose.
Okay, so no rambling paragraphs or vague ideas?
Just clear, actionable information.
Okay, I'm sold on the importance of a good brief.
Good.
But what are the essential elements?
Well, let's break it down.
Okay, break it down for me.
First and foremost, we clearly state our objectives.
The objectives, right.
What are we hoping to achieve with this video?
Okay.
How will we measure success? What are the KPIs we'll be tracking?
So, for instance, if you've been added to, our objective would be to increase ebook downloads by 50%.
Within a month.
Within a month, right?
Right, and we'd measure this using existing marketing platform analytics. We'd also be tracking things like audience retention, click-through rates to gauge engagement.
Okay, that makes sense.
Next, we delve into the target audience.
Target audience.
Who are we speaking to?
Right.
What are their demographics, psychographics, their needs, pain points, aspirations?
And this is where those golden nuggets of audience insights come in.
This is where they shine, yeah.
For Yuban and remembering that their audience prioritized results.
Over creative flair.
Over creative flair, yeah.
That was crucial.
That was crucial.
The briefs should also clearly articulate that core message.
That core message.
And that one key takeaway.
In the case of You've Been Adnant, it was positioning their ebooks as tools.
Tools to achieve marketing objectives.
Simple, powerful, directly address their audience's needs.
And then we move into the logistical details.
The logistical detail.
What's our budget for this project?
Okay, budget.
Timeline. Where will the video be distributed?
Where will it live?
Will we be repurposing it across multiple platforms?
This is where You've Been Here money.
Yeah.
Adage decided to place their videos on their ebook landing pages and repurpose them for blog posts.
Okay.
But remember, they adapted those calls to action.
Right. Adapted for each context?
For each context.
Make sure it felt very natural and intuitive.
Exactly. The brief should also outline any specific creative considerations.
Creative considerations, so...
Do we have a particular style or aesthetic in mind?
Okay.
Are there any brand guidelines that need to be adhered to?
So if you've been had specific brand colors or fonts...
Fonts, tone of voice.
Or a tone of voice that they wanted to maintain.
They would include that in the brief.
Got it. Okay.
And finally, we wrap up the brief with a clear call to action.
Call to action.
What do we want the production team to do next?
So something like, based on the information in this brief, please develop 3 creative concepts.
Exactly. That's concise, actionable.
Okay.
Leaves no room for misinterpretation.
Okay, so the video production brief.
It's a powerful document.
It's a very powerful document, yeah.
And remember, it's a living document.
A living document.
It can and should evolve as the project progresses.
Okay.
New information might come to light.
Right.
Creative ideas might spark unexpected changes, and that's okay.
That's okay, yeah.
But having this solid foundation is crucial.
Crucial, yeah.
For setting the project up for success.
It's like building a house. You might make adjustments along the way.
You always refer back to the blueprint.
To make sure the structure is sound.
But here's something I find particularly fascinating.
Okay, what's that?
We've spent all this time talking about Data, objectives, logistics.
All the left brain stuff.
Yeah, all the left brain stuff.
Analytical.
But we haven't really touched on the creative spark.
The creative spark.
Yeah.
Where does that fit in?
Where does that fit into this whole process?
Because video is such a creative medium.
It is a creative medium.
How do we make sure that that artistic vision...
That it isn't stifled?
Isn't stifled by all this planning?
That's a great question, and that's where the magic happens.
Ooh, the magic.
While the data and insights provide a crucial foundation,
okay,
the creative spark is what brings a video to life.
Okay, so it's not just about following a formula.
It's about finding that sweet spot where data-driven strategy
meets inspired creativity.
Meets inspired creativity, exactly.
So the brief provides the guidelines, the parameters.
But it gives that creative team the freedom
to explore.
To explore, experiment, infuse the video with their unique artistic vision.
Here's the map. Go discover the treasure.
I love that. That's perfect.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has been. It has been.
I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the power of planning.
The power of planning.
You know, it's so much more than just pointing a camera and pressing record.
It really is.
There's so much that goes on behind the scenes.
It's been a pleasure diving into this with you. I'm always thrilled to see people embrace that strategic side of video marketing.
The strategic side.
It's the key to unlocking its true potential.
So to all of you out there listening, remember, incorporating video into your marketing doesn't have to be overwhelming.
Start with a solid plan.
Start with a solid plan, get those creative juices flowing.
And don't be afraid to experiment and have some fun along the way.
Yeah, and if you ever feel lost or unsure, just remember.
The 5 Fundamentals of Video Content Planning Guide is there to guide you.
It's your roadmap.
It is your roadmap to video marketing success.
Well, that's a wrap on today's deep dive into video content planning.
It's been fun.
We hope you enjoyed the journey, and we'll catch you next time for another exploration into the world of knowledge and insights.
See you then!